lot of time we do the position choke coconut, we start on side control, we start on mount, or we start side. And we don't get the reality of number one is that they're slightly defended it, or I've had to struggle to get there, or the way that I'm getting there. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to have a look at a guard pass from the open guard. We're going to go off the butterfly guard because it's a little bit easier to teach. So we get to the side control position, so we understand where we are and how we got there. It'll also mean that my opponent's already started his defenses to defend it, which I need to deal with straight away. So instead of me kind of going, I'm in the best position ever, I just got here, this is great, which isn't a realistic expectation. We're going to have a look at actually getting there, where my partner's frames be, how they're looking at it, and how we deal with them. Okay, so pull that onto your back, our butterfly guard, head facing the camera, legs facing me, butterfly guard. Okay. So one of the things I want to do with the butterfly guard is that I can pass the guard, but I also want to be able to pass the guard to a position that I'm in control. So it's not just necessarily passing. Sometimes what I'll do is, if I can't get to the finished position of a guard pass, I'll go back to their guard to do it again. The main reason being is that I want to be able to get to a nice control, so when I pass, he can't fight me. So we're going to play from the butterfly. First things first is I want to cross grip, so my hand's going to come through and I'm going to cup the head. So it's kind of like he's in an arm drag position on me, which he basically is, I'm using the same technology or the same system as an arm drag. What I'm doing from here is I extend my right leg, I pull and I pass, so I get to a side control position and I've got a really good heavy side control straight away. This makes it really hard for my partner to defend it because I've already got the focus, so I'm already underneath the hips and I'm behind the head. So you're going to find that the general is they're going to frame or they're going to try and bridge. They're the two majors. So one more time, just go to the side. So the way I deal with this is they normally go underhook from this up. So I shoot my hand through. So see what's happening already? So I've counted his underhook. I'm here. The downfall about it is that my right leg is in the hook position. So if I lift my leg, he's got the ability to kick the hook. So I straighten my leg. What I'm doing is I'm putting all my weight on my partner to get rid of his frame, and I swing my arm under. So I'm kind of pretty low to the ground, my hand's underneath the hips, and I'm here. So if my partner turns towards me, it's not going to really do anything because I can keep the side control. If he tries to head push, I always turn my head towards the left, so it's heavier than this way here. This way. And the second thing about he bridges, doesn't do anything either. So it kind of puts me in a really nice controlled position of the seated butterfly pass. Continue, come here please. So the seated butterfly guard, do you want Emma or? So from here, once again is whether my partner, so this is kind of the one thing, so he wants to get the control of me. What I'm trying to do is my hand, trying to come through, I'm trying to go palm down onto his hip. I cup the head, I'm under. The part that I need to do now is I stretch my leg out to just collapse the frame and I swing. So even if he's got the underhook, the underhook's now and void, because I'm on the bottom side of his hip. I'm on the bottom side of his hip. If I'm on top side of the hip, he can use the underhook to start to escape. Does that kind of make sense? So I'm on the underside, I'm dead flat to the ground so he can't come underneath me. The only way he can kind of move is away from me, which kind of gives me the ability to start to get my controls and start to manipulate my partner. Is everyone okay to start with that? Okay, 1, 2, 3. So you think about it this way, I've got the head control, so he can't go backwards, my hand control. Now what I'm doing from here is, I'm trying to tip him over so he's on the small, right? So what I'm doing is, as I extend my right leg, my weight goes on, and I move my right hand, push my right hand, so it swims around. So I've got heavy control onto his shoulders. What I'm seeing is that some of you try to run the guard, you're going to get caught on the hook and you won't be able to clear him. So what I mean by run the guard, you're trying to go round the guard. Once you're here, he's still got his hook on me and he's still going to be able to elevate and sweep me. So I'm not running the guard. I'm going, one, I go tip him down. I'm heavy onto the head. So I'm pulling his head into me. I extend, I don't lift. I don't want the hook to follow me, so I extend it down to the ground so that though he can't hit the hook. My right hand punches the floor. As I come round, I extend my right hand so it's underneath the hips, exaggerated. So if he tries to rescue guard, I turn my head this way. So if he's pushed, he's always pushed me onto his hips. He wants to move his hips, but my weight's on his hips, so that's where it's here. I can lift my head up and create space to move. So I want to be this way. I always want to turn, keep my pressure here. But because I want to be looking for my upgrade. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The crunch option is designed predominantly when I've failed my underhook and they've got the forklift. So I'm having trouble hip escaping, I'm having trouble bridging. They've got a very good controlling. The thing about the forklift side control that we're ending up in is that it's hard for them to attack me because both hands are committed to holding me. They've got like maybe Von Fleek style choke, but you know it's very hard for them to capitalize on it. So I had the ability to expose my arms a little bit. Right. Okay. So just grab. Who can I grab? Let's go, Tyson. Got that surf coffee jiu-jitsu. I heard that is the best gear in the world. No, you're passing my guard, man. First time for everything. Okay, so from here, it goes under, shoots hand under, boom, punches, controls, passes my guard, boom, and I'm here. Right, man. So as we turn around, as a general rule, my left arm or my underhook arm is pinned underneath the body. I need to rescue that straight away. What I want to do is I'm going to go sharking with my right hand. So my right hand becomes like a shark fin. I push it against my partner's hips. I'm going to turn my knees towards my partner and I'm going to raise my left elbow. So this is my right hand. I'm going to raise my left elbow. I turn my knees towards my partner. I raise my elbow. So this gives me the ability to have a frame. I'm not pulling the arm out, right? So I now have access to start to attack the shoulder. The main reason being is that because his hand's caught on this side of me, he can't really defend it very well. So we're going to start in this position from here. Sorry, Tom, was that too hard?
No, it's all right.
Okay, sorry, mate. I thought you were in my video last time, so you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so sharking, please remember when I'm sharking it's 45 degrees down, and I'm using my pinky as a guide. That's a stronger mechanic than my palm. Okay, from here. What I'm doing is I turn my knees, I bridge, I just put my elbow. So see my elbow? And I don't particularly care if it's on his chest or the shoulder, but it has to be on this side of him. It can't go to the far side because he'll just crush it. Once I can't bring my knee through because he still has access to it. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. Now I get the ability to start to attack. You can't see it, but the armbar's pretty much on already. It's a really tight little armbar for me, and they're caught into position. Yeah? Cool. So you can do the guard pass to me. Feel what it's like. So here, underhook, boom, pins me, comes round the side, I'm like, man. So I go sharking straight away. It's a shark. Does that make sense? And what I'm doing, I turn my knees and I just pick my elbow. So it's right into the valley. Hand comes over, cup. It's a squeeze to draw my partner over. So most people will roll to save the shoulder and to save the neck. The stubborn people stay in the zone and that's their fault. Nothing to do with me. How you choose to die is up to you. How you do it is up to you. So one more time, nice and slow. So we're in the position my hand's caught, right? The hardest part is I've got to turn. So when I go sharp to keep his weight. As I turn, all I'm going to do is I bridge, I just put my elbow. It's really it's quite an awkward thing for him because I'm not rescuing my arm, it's just my elbow. I come over. Now I want the frame, so my palm is facing away from me. I'm going to roll the elbow high and start to squeeze pressure. So it's a pretty tight move. The more that he puts his weight down towards my head, the more access I get to a straight arm. The more he drives in towards me, the more I get my elbow to create space. The more he turns his head over my head, the more I get access to roll him over because he can't post. So as far as I'm gone, the crunch mechanic is a really good way to, number one, is to rescue once I'm in a really bad position. Number 2, I'm attacking my partner from underneath. Number 3, the ability to submit or roll over or create space. I can even just go back into my guard if I need to go back into my guard. This is going to take a little while just to get the hang off, but the key factor is rescuing your elbow. If you don't rescue your elbow, you can't do the move. Emma? So we're starting here. So her right hand's under my body. So like the forklift side control. If I try and bridge now, her weight's on me. So when I go sharking, I'm just creating space. So what I'm doing is I'm turning my knees and I'm pushing. I do a small bridge, and that allows my forearm to come through. Ideally, I don't want it on this side because it's too easy for her to drive her head into my arm. So what I'm trying to do is always try to get my elbow, so that they have to raise up. So it's kind of that awkward thing. I cup, and as I cup, I roll and I bring my knees through so I can capture the arm. Push I'm just rolled over. Here's all your kimuras and rescues and things like that as well. So this is going to open up a whole variety of different responses depending on how my partner responds. But the thing about it is I'm always controlling. I'm in control. I'm attacking them. They have to react to what I'm doing. Jamil, you might find this a little bit awkward just to start with, but the time is on for 5 minutes, so as long as you kind of get the concept behind it, you'll be fine. Okay, guys, someone your own size. 1, 2, 3. This is, if you guys know or heard of Marcel Garcia, this is one of his major attacks that he likes to use. Marcel Garcia and George Apachova kind of use the system. It's a really aggressive system from the seated guard. The main reason they're generally the smaller people in the division, and they utilize the ability to move around their partners more than they have then to move their partners. Right, so they're going to be moving around their partner more than moving their partner. I'm going to grab Tyson again for this one, please. So we're going to start off with the seated butterfly guard, and what my partner's going to do is his hand's going to come out to control my head, so it's going to get hand control. Think about it this way, guys. So first of all, I come underneath from here, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to get my hand, if you can't see, guys, come up this up. So I'm trying to get my hand so it goes under the armpit, but if I'm front on, I can't get access along here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my left hand backwards, up, and control. So I get this really nice bite on the arm straight away. So the part that I see people have issues with is their front on, and the downfall, even if I get this and I pull, it's going to land on top of me and I squash to the ground. Now, it's very hard for me to do anything. So what I like to do is I like to backstroke with my left hand. It gives me a post and drives my right shoulder forward, which means that there's a wedge in the way. So from here, my left hand drives backwards, 1, 2. Now as my partner slowly drives into me, my hand comes down, I get this really nice sweep over onto the top position. My elbow is still in his throat to stop him from bridging, right? So we're going to do what happens if my partner doesn't drive into me, we'll do that next. So we're here, first things first is we're going to get our partners to cup us with their left hand. I go, left hand goes backwards, hand comes under and I raise it. See how the elbow is raised? I cup it. Now what I'm thinking I'm doing is I'm slicing his muscle off his bone. So I'm not pulling in, I'm slicing the muscle off the bone. I'm slicing the muscle off the bone. That will do two things. It will slice the muscle off the bone and it will flare my elbow. So once my elbows are flared, it's very hard for him to drive into me because I have the front. So I sit my right shoulder down, and now from here I've got the ability to use my hook to sweep him. My left elbow continues into his throat, and that's what holds him down. So if he tries to drive towards me, my left elbow stays into the throat. Yeah, so it's a really nice way to hold and control your partner without kind of using a lot of force. So the way I'm doing it is I'm moving around my partner by putting their weight on top of it, and I'm moving around them. So as the weight comes on me, I'm simply moving to the side to roll them up. I'm not trying to do that big heavy lift. I'm not bearing his weight, and it's quite easy to manipulate my partner. Oh, go in. Your shoulders again. So once again, from here we have the seated butterfly guard. My partner put their left hand to control my head. First thing I do is I want to create distance. My left hand goes backwards, my right hand comes under. What I'm doing is I'm raising it. That's the hardest part about the entire move, is here. So I'm kind of using that one motion to get the lift. Once I'm here, I cup my palm weight and I slice on it. Now what I'm doing is I'm slicing the bone from here. My partner generally goes an arm bar and drive in. As I drive in, my elbow goes down and my other elbow is straight into the throat. I like to go to mouth position. So I've accumulated the separation of the arm away from the body. My elbow's in his throat. Happy days. Is everyone okay with that? Who would like to see it one more time? Sure. Sam, come here. You can feel it. So So on the seated butterfly guard, my partner's going to grab with the left hand. First things first, like I said, I can't get my hand under. This is a really awkward mechanic. So what I'm doing is I'm separating. So see how the elbow comes with me, comes away from the body. So I'm going bang, I swing, palm away. Lock it on. What I'm doing is I'm rolling my palms this way. So I lock and I pull it in. I drive onto my side, lift, come over, and I have a really nice mechanic to finish the technique. 1, 2, 3. Okay, do it once or twice each. We're close to the opposite side, down. Butterfly guard, left hand goes to my head, back straight, commander, lift it up nice and deep, separate, pump it in. And what my partner does is does put his weight that way. So it goes past my guard from here. Does that make sense? Make sure my left knee comes to my chest. Let it pass around my guard. So as it comes around my guard, hook the head, come over and hit your arm bar. So if it's coming around the guard, we're just going to keep our left leg on the inside. Because I've got the frame structure, it's very hard for him to put his weight down on me. So slow motion, I like this one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, crush it, down runs to his right. So I've got to keep that in. Okay, so my hand goes to the head as it comes around the guard, on the top, and it's a really deep arm bar. But really deep, and the more he runs around the guard, the better this is as well.
And it started, it was already on.
Yeah, but the angle that you've come around, your arms are full extend. Like that, I haven't even done the kick down or anything like that, so it's super fast arm bar. Come around. So once again, I'm just going to shortcut system. As I come under, he goes, I'll move to my right. So this is keep that. Got to keep that on the inside. Yep, we call this dead bug or baby guard. From here, right. So I'm here, I simply bring my hand over. As it comes around the guard, that. So the arm bar, extend, and the arm bar comes off pretty much. Yeah, so it's a super fast arm bar. So for this part of the class, this would be the more complex technique. And if you feel it's too complex for you, or that you want to focus on technique number 1, focus on technique number 1. If you try the technique number 2, the armbar, and you don't get it the first couple of times, go back to technique number 1 and drill the technique number 1. This will be up on the YouTube channel, so you do have the opportunity to come back and revise it later. But don't, if you're not in the right place to learn it straight away, go back to technique number 1. Time is on for 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3.